Hello and namaste, everyone. My name is Pooja Kamatsabnis, and welcome to the IC Network. As always, we have another very interesting video today with a very special guest. His name is Ali, and welcome, Ali, to our show.
Welcome, Pooja. Nice to be with you and the audience. Thank you.
Great, that's great. We're very excited to speak with you. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things around microloans. So, before we get started, I would love if Ali can introduce himself.
Okay, Pooja. My name is Ali, and I am the program coordinator for the Servus-Bredin Microloan program within Bredin Center for Career Advancement.
Right.
And I'm really excited to be here in order to spread the word out there so that most people can benefit from our program because it really helps in terms of their career advancement.
Sure, that's great. Before we get into the microloans aspect, it'll be really nice if you can tell us what Bredin Center for Career Advancement does, because I know it has quite a few services that it provides. So can you just elaborate, give us a quick overview of it, and then we can get into the specifics.
Okay, so Bredin Center for Career Advancement, our main offices are in Edmonton, and we provide many services for, I would say, immigrants. That's the majority of our services. In general, internationally educated professionals or internationally educated, trained professionals in specific, but we also provide other services for Albertans in general, regardless of their immigration status, that pertains to their career, development or employment hunting or, resume writing or all these kind of services. Okay, so pretty much our services are mainly, most of our programs are funded by the government. Some of the programs are funded by the provincial government. Some of them are by federal. Some of them are, mixed. And most of them are meant for the Edmontonians. However, the only exception for this rule is the program that I'm coordinator for, because it covers all of Alberta.
Right. That's great. So, since you said that your programs are funded by provincial as well as federal government.
No, our program is only federal, provincial, sorry.
Your program is only provincial. Okay, so your program is on microloans then, and this is for people that are applying to either switch their careers or who want to train themselves, get a further education. So we'd like to know a little more about that. Who can apply, can you tell us more about?
Okay, I'll tell about the program and then we'll talk about who can apply. So pretty much the Servus-Bredin microloan program is in partnership with the Servus Credit Union, hence the name, right? It provides loans for up to $15,000 at an affordable interest rate to be paid later on. It's mainly designed to support new Albertans, people who have been here 3 months and afterwards, and we refer to them as internationally educated professionals, IEP, or internationally trained professionals, ITP. So people who have some training or some education from outside of Canada, and they decided to choose Alberta as their new home, and they would like to pursue whatever experience or education that they have been doing and practicing outside of Canada. Right. Of course, they need to follow whatever regulatory body they follow, right? For example, if someone is an engineer, they need to be registered with APEGA. Okay, so and the same thing for pharmacists, dentists, MDs, nurses, medical technologists, vets, anything. Okay, all of them need to be registered. They need to have the designation to be able to work the same experience that they used to practice back home or anywhere outside of Canada. So pretty much, in many cases, there are some costs associated with this, and in some cases, it's really expensive. So our program comes really handy in terms of removing this financial obstacle so that people can pursue their licensing and then I would say living the dream.
Right. No, that's great, because we do know of a lot of people who are interested in getting a further education or switching their profiles and need that financial assistance. And having knowledge of something like this can definitely help, can come handy. So that's great. That's great with all this information that you're providing.
Yeah, if I may add something, because it saddens me that, especially when I'm an immigrant myself, so. This was really exciting. The first few, I would say, trips I had to go, to explore the place. So I used to, use the taxi, right? And I cannot tell you how many, I would say, doctors, specifically doctors, I would say, they were working as taxi drivers, and of course there's no problem with that whatsoever. But it's an irony that we have always this doctor shortage in Alberta, and
Right.
someone who has studied and suffered all these years and practiced medicine in their outside of Canada, and they have I would say the ton of experience that we can benefit from the most over here. But for many obstacles, mainly the financial is one of them.
Financial,
And
right.
as you mentioned, the lack of information, they don't
Right.
know, right? But over here, we help them not only the financially, we also help them. We'll talk later on about building their career plan and some
Right.
education plan so that they can know what to follow, because knowledge is the number one. Lacking of knowledge is the biggest obstacle they face.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, exactly. So at least having that awareness that there's something that can give them financial assistance at a manageable interest rate is so much better than being a taxi driver and saving a little money and waiting for a long time then to enroll yourself in a course. So well, that's great first level information, but let's dive a little deeper into it. If somebody is interested in applying for a loan, they'd like to know what the eligibility is. So can you tell us about that?
Okay, so the eligibility criteria are pretty straightforward.
Right.
They need to have the right to work and live in Canada in general, and in Alberta in specific. Okay, so they need to be residents of Alberta because, as I mentioned, the program is funded by the government of Alberta, and their immigration status needs to be either permanent resident or Canadian citizens who were immigrant at some point. But the
Right.
most important criteria is they need to have some education or training verified, from outside of Canada, because
Right.
that's the main aspect. Okay, and the last I would say point would be for eligibility is they need to have some sort of source of income, because
Right.
remember it's a loan at the end of the day, right? So the bank needs to know that the applicant is capable to, after the loan is received, they can pay it off, and we will talk about the repayment options later on. But any kind of source of income, but it's much easier than just going to the bank and without not through this program, because the bank usually they will check your credit. You have to have a high credit history, and if you're new to the country, you don't have credit history yet, right? But
Correct.
for this program, you can be as new as 3 months in Canada in general, Alberta specific, and pretty much eligible if you meet all the other criteria.
Right. So you said that one needs to have the permit to be in Canada or in Alberta, so which includes citizenship, which includes PR,
Yes.
permanent residency, and what about work visa? Does that do as well?
This is when we discuss this with the bank, this is based on case by case situation, okay?
Right.
Because when you talk about work visa, the biggest challenge with that one is the deadline, because usually it lasts for 3 years, right?
Right.
And because it lasts for 3 years, it depends on the date of the application,
Right.
and depending on the plan the applicant is willing to go through, because sometimes some of these plans might go for years. So
Correct.
because of this, we're not saying it's definite no, it's case by case, because there are many criteria that we need to consider and we need to
Absolutely.
discuss with the bank.
Right.
However, if I would say it's an early date and the plan fits, I would say with their time limit and as a work visa, pretty
Right.
much it's something we can discuss with the bank. And of course, perhaps we can leave our information with them, our phone number, our email, and the website address through which they can communicate with us, and then we can discuss each situation. Because I can tell you, we have done over, I would say, hundreds of applicants, and I can tell you, each application is unique by itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, like you said, we will take your, the best ways to reach to you or your company towards the end of this interview. So that'd be great for the viewers to immediately action on if they really need help.
Yes.
All right. So moving on, then, are there any key features of the Servus-Bredin microloans that you'd like to elaborate on?
Okay, so I would say the first thing is when we mentioned that it's up to 15,000.
Right.
So an applicant does not have to go with the full 15,000. Okay,
Sure.
that's number one. Remember, we mentioned that it's meant for internationally educated professionals. So these people should have some planning. What do they need? And it's case by case. Some people require, it's as simple as filling the applications and doing the exams. Okay. Some applicants would be they might require to take some bridging courses. And as you can see, this involves more time, more cost, and more, I'd say, longer process. So it's dependent. But again, the upper cap would be 15,000, and it's customized. When I say customized, it means, again, if the requirements, whatever planning an applicant needs requires 5,000, then they take 5,000.
Correct.
Okay. They need 10,000, they can take the 10,000. And we match not only in terms of the amount, even when they draw it, and in order for them to save them from paying the interest right away, we match the repayment later on with the date of when them withdrawing the money, and for them to pay for whatever fits their career plan, right? So
right.
It's customized in that sense.
Okay.
And if I might say also, so one of the biggest services we provide in the center is the career coaching, and depending on case by case, discipline by discipline, we provide career plan and for every single applicant, depending on whatever their status is. Okay. And if someone is not in Edmonton, which is it's typical because we cover all of Alberta. For example, Calgary, right? I know that you guys are in Calgary.
Yes.
But the thing is, for Calgary, we direct clients for a direction for immigrant, for example. Okay. So we provide them, we connect them, we refer them over there, and they can help them in terms of building their plan, and then they can get back to us in order to apply the loan that fits that plan.
Right. That's very interesting. So I think just further to what you mentioned, I have two questions. One is assuming that somebody doesn't have a very solid plan about wanting to, what they want to do, but they definitely want to pursue some kind of a further education. Then is there is there a way where they can apply pre-hand for the loan? And second of all, assuming somebody does want to pursue further education but doesn't know what they want to do, does the career management, the career, the help system that you have, the coaching system that you have, can you guide those people?
Oh, okay, definitely. So I would say if someone is resident is an Edmontonian, then definitely they can, and they meet all the criteria in terms of living in Edmonton, and they have their international education or training from outside, then they definitely can reach out to us at the center, and then we can refer them to their specific career coach, because we have career coach for every discipline. Okay. And depending on the discipline, we will connect them with the appropriate career coach, and then we'll look into their their status, their education, their training, all the certificates they have, and then we can go from there. So that's the starting point, I would say. And I repeat, if someone is not living in Edmonton, like in Calgary, we can refer them to a suitable agency that can help them building their plan. And for the first part of the question, and I'm very happy that you asked this, especially that right now we are only 2 weeks stepping into this new year, and many people, they have this, I'm going to do this in this year. I'm going to achieve this, But the financial aspect is always an obstacle, right? Plus the uncertainty that you mentioned, they don't have a solid plan what to do, right? So in that sense, yes, we can definitely work with them, and we can build, I would say, a basic plan in order to get them pre-approved. Okay, so once we get to that point, then they have the approval for that basic plan, and then they have the option at some pivot points. Are they going to this direction or this direction? If it fits that whatever plan that we have built, that's fine. If it doesn't fit, we can tweak it. They can reach out to us. We only need to fix their plan, because it will be a quick process, because the approval is always there. And I would like to give a very good example for that fits with this requirement, which is or this situation, which is the pharmacist. Many pharmacists, when they come to Canada, taking the exam is a challenge, right? So because it's different level and different, I would say, knowledge base. So most of them, they have to go through a special bridging program that's called the CCPP.
Okay.
This program is it costs around $13,600 approximately, or exactly. It's something in that range.
Right.
Okay? And that program usually starts in September. That's the first thing. It starts September. They get to know. They need to pay for that one around August, but they get to know that they have been accepted around July or end of June. Okay, so as you can see, it's very short notice from when
Correct.
they get to know to when the program actually starts. Okay, that's why getting a pre-approval is really important and essential. This way, they have, they can secure the money. Okay, and once they get accepted, they are ready to pay for it and just get enrolled. So in
Right.
that sense, the pre-approval is very important.
Correct.
Yeah, always.
Absolutely. I think for most fields, pre-approval is important because there's one thing that's out of your mind about how will you finance things,
Oh yeah,
and you can actually focus on what you actually need to do then.
correct.
So yeah, well, that does make sense. Okay, moving on to the next question. Assuming somebody is interested, what is the loan application process?
So they need to reach out to us, okay? And again, you will provide them with our information, and we will share it after we are done.
Yes.
And to reach out to us through phone call, email, or simply an application, they can fill out a small questionnaire, which we will receive right away. And then the first step would be us reaching out to them. If they did not initiate the call, for example, we will call them and we will have some brief discussion. I would say around 20 to 30 minutes, very quickly, just to discuss their eligibility criteria and to know what are their profession and to know how much, because as I said, it's case by case. Some people, we get some clients who have already started some of these steps, and some of them actually started paying for some of these steps as well. So it's case by case. So they reach out to us, we get back to them, we have this discussion to make sure that they are eligible for that program. Once we get to that point that, okay, basically you are eligible, then we get to the point of deeper discussion and to know all of the documents and all the financial, I would say, status that we have. There are many things that are required by the bank, but again, we will help with every single step.
Right.
Okay? So we discuss, we ask for our documents, and if someone is interested, of course, we will not ask for documents unless someone is interested to pursue, of course, okay? And we'll never ask for any personal information until someone is interested to proceed further and collect all the documents. And then we will help even filling out the application. We will do all of this thing, okay?
Right.
And after we get the documents, we fill everything, we will finalize with one last meeting with them. So basically, it takes maximum one phone call, and I would say 2, either in person or virtual meetings, to get everything done. If all the documents are ready, that's one phone call, 2 meetings, and we're done.
Right.
And that's when we take everything and then we forward to the bank.
Right.
And then the bank will take up approximately 5 business days before reaching out to the client. I think they tell either approved, and we have been doing this, I would say, for 2 years right now. I would say 99% of our applications are being approved.
Okay.
And if it's declined for any reason, or they would reach out to us telling us, okay, it's declined because of this, and our recommendation, do this and that, in order, when can they apply again?
Right.
And in very rare cases, they might ask for extra documents. But again, right now we have been doing this for 2 years, and we're pretty solid in terms of getting everything ready before we send it to the bank. So that's, in a nutshell, that's the process, basically.
That's the entire framework of the process. All right.
And
so
all the documents are all e-documents. Okay, even the final signature when we request signature from the client. Okay, so if someone is in Calgary or Lethbridge or Fort Mac or whatever, we can do all of these things online. But they're more than welcome to visit us in our office, of course.
Yeah, of course. But I think e-signing and e-docu-signing always makes things so much easier. Just coming back to everything that you said, you said one phone call and 2 interviews and about 5 days from the
maximum. Yes.
Right, and 5 days from the bank. So the whole turnaround time, how much do you think that is from the time a person applies, assuming that he or she is eligible?
I can tell you from our side, as I mentioned, one phone call, maximum 2 meetings, and then 5 days from the bank. So it all technically depends on how quick we receive the documents from an applicant. Okay,
right.
And in many cases they might require some documents from education, like back home, right? And sometimes they need some documents from the bank. So it all depends. Okay, so I can tell you this information. Once we get the documents full and ready, then pretty much it's a matter of, I would say, days for us, basically. Maximum 2 weeks. Maximum, if you have documents, maximum 2 weeks.
That's pretty quick in a way. Yeah, with the bank inclusive. Yeah, so that's like a very, very quick and
again,
fast turnaround
I'm,
time.
I'm very accurate, having all the documents ready, nothing is missing. And
Right.
of course, all the documents, they fit the eligibility criteria, right? So because
Right.
some of the documents might get to a point that a client or an applicant might not be eligible. So that's a different story. But again,
Right.
documents ready, nothing is preventing all eligible, then yeah, I would say 2 weeks
And I'm
basically.
sure with some, on case to case basis, it differs, the time frame differs as well. But more often than not, this is what it is. So
Correct.
that's good to
Yes.
know as well. All right. So, we had another question, which is what if somebody has already paid, for a course, but not the entire amount, a part of it, and need financial assistance for the other part, which is probably a minor or a major part. How does it work then? Can they apply?
Okay, so basically, yes, of course, they can apply anytime. That's the main factor, yeah, main aspect. And if they have
Okay.
paid some or that fees or part of that fees up to
Correct.
3 months before the application, definitely we can include that
Right.
within the loan, as long as they provide, invoices. Because if they paid for this before approaching us, then we need to know that they actually paid for this. Okay, and then we can build an education plan that fits with whatever thing that they have
Sure.
paid for. Even they
Sure.
can do for some people actually start training before, okay,
Right.
before they reach out to us. And if
Right.
I want to go back to the same pharmacy
Right.
bridging program example, that one is also, some people start with it in September, but again,
Right.
it's a big chunk of money they pay, right? And
Right.
they reach out to us, and yeah, perhaps if I want to assume they get back to us around December, for example, they can apply,
Right.
and of course we can cover whatever balance remaining. And sometimes, again, we can look into this if they prefer to include the whole amount, even the amount they paid prior. We can look into this as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we are very, very flexible in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what I understand is that if somebody has already enrolled for a course and paid partially, they can apply for the rest of the amount. And if somebody has already started their training, they can also apply. So
They can apply. Sure.
that
Yes.
way, the program is pretty flexible to accommodate these what do you say situations too.
Exactly, because remember, the main focus over here, and that's the main, I would say, motivation or the main goal for the government, is to make things as easy as possible on the applicants, right? And
Correct.
the
Correct.
financial factor is really troubling. It's really pressuring people, and it's actually
Correct.
stopping them from initiating, their licensure or their career change or whatever. And so the goal of
Right.
the government is to make things as easy as possible, and it's a win-win deal. It's the government is supporting this to an extent, making things easy so that they can get these loans for people can benefit from them, and then they will go from lower income to higher income, and they will get to pay higher tax to the government. So you see the cycle over here. So it's a win-win deal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. Well, yeah. So I think you've addressed almost all the questions that we had. Is there anything else that you think you've missed out on that you'd like to add?
uh, I would say basically pretty much reach out to
If
us. Okay, that's the main factor. Okay.
right.
I think there's one topic I would like to address over here, which is the repayment options. Okay, because I don't think that we have discussed this one. Because again, people are interested to know once they are granted the loan and they actually use it for that meets their action plan, how can they are repay it? So number one, there's a 45 days grace period before they start uh, payments. Okay, that's not the
Right.
first point. And the second point is, as you mentioned, remember, it's customized. So if someone took, for example, the full 15,000, for example, they might not use the full 15,000 at the moment. Okay, so according to the action plan, for right now we are in January, for example. Okay, I need like 5,000 in February. I
Right.
need 6,000 maybe towards August. I don't know, right? So okay, they will get the 5,000 right now, and 10,000 as if they did not take it, right? After 45 days, that's when they start paying only the 5,000, not the full amount.
Right.
So in
Right.
that sense, we make payments as easy as possible on them. It's not a burden, a quick burden.
Right.
Another option would be, especially for people who actually take the full amount and use it right away, depending, because that's what they plan. I remember the pharmacy one bridging program is 13,000, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, they can have a discussion with a financial manager once they get to a point. So they reach out to us, we discuss, they give us documents, we fill the application, we send the service, everything is okay, they get the money. At that point, they can have this discussion with the financial manager, and they can say, we would like to pay only the interest, right? That fits maybe for 1 or 2 years, for example, and then they will start with the regular payment. This way, they can stretch the payment more, and they can the first maybe 1 or 2 years. It will be, I would say, very, very light burden on them. Hopefully, by that time they finish their program or they get closer to their licensing process, and then hopefully they can find a job that provides them with higher income, and the next 2 years, so they can pay it over the course of 4 years after they take the loans.
Right.
Okay, so it's very important to keep this in mind, because again, when you're taking, some people take a loan and they think, I need to pay it like within a year or something. No, it's it can last for up to 4 years, and it's different from the credit card and all these, because again, the interest rate is, I would say, much lower. I have a mortgage, and because I have mortgage for 5 years, actually the bank, like last week, they sent me an offer to use my line of credit, and it's for 10%. So the prime rate plus an additional 5%. That was an offer. So total, it was very close to 10%. That was the offer for me. Yeah. So compare this.
Doesn't sound like an offer.
It's for someone who is, who needs the money. I don't know, right? So, but again, this is much lower. So it's current, and it's it's one of these things that keep changing. The prime rate keeps changing, right? Currently, we're sitting at prime rate plus 1.5%, but always it's one of these variables that whenever anyone is interested, they can reach out to us, and we can talk more accurate numbers.
Sure.
Yeah. So the last thing I would like to add is basically, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. Please keep in mind that we are a non-profit organization, so we're not trying to sell you any service. The main focus of our job is basically to reach out to you folks and know about the services that the government is actually funding. And please follow us on social media, different ones, because we always have some good advertisement. We always have some webinars that you can join to for financial literacy. And in many cases, especially remember, we are targeting the new Canadians and new Albertans. Okay, and these people, the most important and valuable thing that they need, and as you mentioned, Pooja, is the information. Okay, so we provide lots of these webinars that they can benefit from. And last month also, we partnered with PMI, Project Management Index in Alberta. So for people who are interested to pursue their project management, because that's this relates to any discipline in the world, we partner with them so that anyone who's interested can join their study groups at a discounted rate, and secure hopefully their PMP certification. So just follow us and reach out to us, and we can discuss your situation. And if it's something that we cannot help you with, we can refer you to our agency like Bredin, or we can refer to someone wherever you are residing. Just reach out to us, and we'll help you with everything that we can help you with.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. And I think you've almost targeted every aspect of what a person would like to know if they want to apply for a microloan. So that was really, really helpful. Lastly, would you like to tell where people can, what site people should go to? What is a good, an email that they could write on, or, any information that they can have to reach out to you?
Okay. Do you prefer for me to say it out loud, or maybe you can provide them with a text, whatever you want? So
yes. So we will be putting in the text when when people see this video, they'll be able to see it. So if you want to verbalize it, now is a good time.
Okay. So my email address is ali.ali, so ali.ali @bredin.ca, Bredin Bredin.ca. My phone number, which I don't memorize, it's 780-425-3730, and my extension is 2085. That's for the phone number. And for the email address, for the website, it's www.bredin.ca. So they can go there, check what other services, or I think in that section, we are over there. They click the link, and there's a small questionnaire that they can fill out over there. So it all depends. So people prefer to pick up the phone and call. Some people prefer to send an email. Some people prefer to fill out a questionnaire. So whatever communication channel you guys prefer, just feel free to reach out to us, and we're here to help.
Right. So we will be providing all the information below this particular video, and you'll be able to access it. Like Ali said, whatever channel you're comfortable with, it could be writing an email or giving him a call, or getting onto the website and filling out the questionnaire. You have different options, and this video basically was to educate you on the different ways to make your life easier in case you want to pursue a further education to achieve your dream that you have, and things do not come in the way of that, or at least a way to make it easier on you. So with that, we would really like to thank Ali for his time. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for all the interesting insights that you gave, and thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned to more such interesting content. Have a great rest of your weekend, and enjoy the cold winter, I would say. Bye then.
Okay, thank you, Pooja. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.